All right, welcome back to the Central Valley Buzz, everybody. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. The Golden Valley Unified School District, not so unified anymore. Let's bring in John Mosley to talk about it. Hey, John, how's it going?
To meet you.
Hey, go ahead, give it up for John. John was voted into Golden Valley Unified School District in November as a supervisor, along with Carla Jean Neal, and here we are 5 months in, and they want to kick your butt out. They're trying to recall you. They want you out because you're trying to blow the whistle on people.
They have been upset almost from the day we were elected, the three of us, Carla, Kathleen Crumpton, Neil, myself. And the recall is proceeding. The election is September 1. But and I've come and I've talked about some of the reasons why we're standing our ground, we're standing for election, we're fighting the recall. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that we did, maybe even recently.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's back it up a little bit and tell the people that haven't heard your story before what you found out. You found out that there was some weird things happening in the budget, that there was contractors that were building neighborhoods that were supposed to be paying for schools that weren't paying for schools, and they're trying to stick it to the taxpayers to build those schools. And what pretty much somewhere along the line, someone got paid money.
Well,
payola is what they call it.
That's
what they're calling it, payola.
I'm not making an accusation. We do know that prior boards put together a document that would establish a Millerus for what is now called, I think it's Riverstone, it was Gateway, and it was designed to, it's so complicated. It was designed as a way to shift some costs for at least 7 years onto the existing taxpayers. Because we started digging into the budget and we worked hard to balance it and worked hard at the savings, we ran into the development issue, the CFD or the Millerus, whatever you want to call it. And
do you think if you wouldn't have found that that these people would like you? And they wouldn't want to recall you? Is there, because the supervisor, the previous one,
trustee.
The supervisor before he quit. He left town.
Or the superintendent separated himself.
Right, he separated himself.
Right. We've been real clear.
Red flag.
We cannot to discuss his leaving.
Okay.
Because of the agreement that was reached.
Okay. You made an agreement with him?
The district.
The district did. I didn't. And I'm going to say that's a huge red flag. The guy leaves right in the middle of a federal investigation.
Well, there is an SEC investigation where we are at least, well, we have had administration officials deposed. And I'm trying to be very cautious.
I know you are.
Last night, the attorney showed up and warned us again to be very cautious.
Why would I get phone calls on my personal cell phone from people that live in the Madera Ranchos that are so mad about this? What's their interest?
They're very upset that I have had the opportunity to talk on your show. And
I invite them. I invite them to come on. Come on. We want to hear your side, too.
And it was prior to you graciously allowing me to come talk, it was a one-sided conversation. And the three of us, Carla, Kathleen, and myself, took some very heavy beatings verbally. And I told you before, my house was vandalized. My daughter was threatened. But we have, Kathleen and Carla and I have stayed the course. We tried to stay positive, truthful. Sometimes being truthful is difficult because you can't just say what you feel. You try to stay with the facts. And we have worked hard all through this to stay focused on the education of the kids. Last night, the board as a whole reached an agreement to establish a partnership with Reed College to start the process. They call, what do they call it? Career tech education. I'm an old blue collar boy, and I just call it VOCED. Using Reed College as instructors and our instructors if they're qualified, and sharing facilities where it's practical. We're going to try to establish, and we've been supporters of VOCED, a program out there, because not every child is going to go to college. And, you know, my sons happen to go to college, but my brother didn't. He went and got a trade, a skill. Some of my kids' friends got skills, do very well. We need computer techs, we need programmers. So Carla and Kathy and I have been big supporters of improving the curriculum, diversifying it, so we have a college prep that is great, and we have a college prep program linked with Reed College to help reduce costs. And now we're trying to establish the VOCED end.
Tell me what you found recently.
Well, you know, the SEC investigation is going to do its thing, and it's going to work itself out. We have slowly been working through the Melrose, and as we work through it and deal with it in an honest way, trying to understand it is extremely complicated. We got involved in the Melrose because we got a memo from one of the law firms that represents the district that had been deeply involved in this. And what they said is that apparently county council in Madera County said that this is not something that you can actually enforce in court and do what you're trying to do, which was to set up a special area where those new homes and that development would be frozen out of paying what would normally be their share of the taxes on a bond that was passed several years ago, and that in order to try to make it, it's only been done one time, and they weren't sure it was exactly what we were doing, and the person who did it, he's retired and they can't locate him. And so council is saying, you really can't do this, so you shouldn't do it. And that's what got us digging into this very complicated 112-page minimum document. And it was put together that way, supposedly as a template for future development, and because they thought Gateway, now Riverstone, was going to get off. It turns out last night at the board meeting, the developer's reps showed up and said he really supports the agreement. I would if I was him. He's got ground broken. But it's not just one development. From what he said, the representative said, that's going to be covered by this. There's 3 developments inside that project. Now, that's new information.
All right.
And
okay,
the more
time
you deal
out,
with this, the
time
more
out. Hold on
complicated
now.
it gets.
Here's the thing. In an agreement like this, the only person that wins is the contractor.
Well, the
Okay,
developer, yeah.
because he's not spending all that extra money. He gets to keep that money that he would normally build the schools with. So, in a situation like this, what happens is these deals are made behind closed doors, and there's money exchange. Damn it!
Well, I'm not
That's
gonna
what
say that.
happens.
Oh, I'm not. I have no proof that there was money exchange.
I got an idea. You're going to find out sooner or later. There,
We
John
do
Mosley.
know that there was, we have an agreement. We're trying to understand it.
I understand it.
And the difficulty is that the 2 board members who were from the previous administration and the previous administration, when this got started, their response to what does all this mean is I don't understand it either. So we're working from the ground up. We're trying to understand it. All I can tell the taxpayers is you have 3 board members who are trying very hard to make sure your taxes don't go up, whose concern is the district and the kids' education, and who are trying to, when they talk about what's occurring, to be factually correct and truthful. And you've never heard any of us say anything rude or unkind about anybody. But we have questioned the deal because I'm trying to understand every little nuance about it. Because every time I hear more discussion, you you find either another escrow account or you find an account that isn't in escrow but may become active at some point. And we're going to be living with this deal because those previous boards put it together. And now the big issue will be that freeze, they call it, meaning locking this area out from paying taxes like everybody else does. Not exempt them from all taxes, but not paying like you or I would, and where they're not in the freeze.
Boy, this is a little school district to have this big of a mess, isn't it?
We're having it this
Wow.
convoluted, and part of it was because I don't think it was vetted fully, whether intentionally or unintentionally, vetted fully with the public, so that you fully understood what was going on, and in the memo, which we were told don't release, and I'm still trying to talk and see if there's a way to release this 2-page memo. It did describe a way to try to make it look legal and get justification from the court. There's a process. I told it briefly last time where you send notice to all the taxpayers, like you send out you won a prize, but you come to court in this day and tell us no, and we won't do it. If you don't show up, then it's a court sanctified and you can do it. Well, counsel said this is a very bad idea. Don't do that. And so we haven't, and we're not going to, and we're going to keep working through this. And we're trying honestly to be factual about it, and we're still trying. Like last night when we did the CTE, the voc ed, the three of us are still trying while we're on that board, despite what anybody may be telling you, to expand the curriculum and provide a better education for our children. And I remember I have a daughter who is attending that school, and I live in that area. So,
John Mosley, Golden Valley United,
Unified,
and not United at all. Unified School District.
And please
good
vote,
luck.
please
Good
vote
luck.
no on the recall.
All right, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break.